there, Tiffany here, and welcome to my After Hours podcast. We've had a couple of really cool guests so far. My friend Hannah of Halloween Town. We launched that with her having a Halloween hangout on our Halloween launch. And then my friend Andrea Dean Von Scoy, who's a Gothic writer among many, many other talents that she has. And yeah, today we have a girl that I met on a film set, on the set of John Russo's, the remake, I should say, John Russo's Midnight. And she did such a phenomenal job, and she's doing all kinds of cool stuff. So I was like, I need to have her on the podcast. This is Michelle Bowser. Really, really excited to have you on. And yeah, so welcome to the After Hours podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Oh, good. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you could come on. Now you are, like I said, you are doing a ton of stuff. You have, the couple other guests I've had on, you have many, many talents. So yeah, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself and, who you are, what you do?
Well, I started out as a writer. I published 5 books. They're not in print anymore, but you could probably find some used copies on eBay or somewhere.
I have one. Blackwell Mirror.
Yes, you did a great review of that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And movies, like Midnight. We had fun with that, and you were fantastic in that.
Thank you. So were you.
Thanks. Yeah, I got into movies because I actually made one of my books into a movie, Desk Clerk, which is just a straight comedy. And my former publisher used to publish John Russo, and that's how I got involved in the movie business initially. And I've been in 6 or 7 movies now.
Nice. Yes. So, so what are some of your more recent films that you've done?
So I was the puppeteer in the famous Crackoon movie. I was the Crackoon. And I also had a bit part as the secretary to the game warden.
Okay, yeah.
Who had to field all the calls from the people about the crazy goings on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have to ask, because I did see that on social media, what exactly is Crackoon about, without giving away too many spoilers?
Well, there's a super crack that they made somehow. It's called acid mine drainage, because it's in West Virginia and it's orange. So it's acid mine drainage from West Virginia. So that's what it's called. And there's some drug dealers, and they're taking it up to cabin to give to the partiers. And the cops pull them over, so they hurry up and ditch the bag in the woods before the cops find it. And they double back and discover that the crack is missing. And it has been eaten by a raccoon. A friendly little raccoon found it and decided to try it, and then went on a rampage.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that sounds interesting, because like I said, I saw it on one of your social media posts, and I'm like, what is that? That sounds like it's hilarious. It sounds it's interesting, kind of like a horror comedy kind of thing. And I was just
it's a horror comedy. That's mostly what I do, is the horror comedy.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, but I was like, I have to ask her what's Crackoon? What exactly is that about? So yeah.
So if you've seen Cocaine Bear, that was pretty popular.
Okay.
And then it was how can this be more ridiculous and funny? What about a raccoon?
A raccoon. Oh my gosh.
So
yeah.
That was a lot of fun. I got to learn how to be a puppeteer, and I keep the puppet. I have the puppet with me. I take him to conventions occasionally.
Aw. Yeah.
So that's a lot of fun.
What convention have you been at most recently?
In Morgantown, West Virginia, the PopCon.
Okay.
That was back in August.
Nice.
That was the one that I did a table. I had my own table, and I had the Crackoon.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of fun. Yeah.
The last one I went to was Gross Fest. That was a lot of fun, and I managed to get it for next year. So I will be at Gross Fest next, I think it's August.
Oh, sweet. Good. Well, good. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. We'll have to like, yeah, check you out there at some of these conventions. So, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I need to move out of the way. I stay too much. I live right between Pittsburgh and West Virginia.
okay.
Uh, I'm a Yinzer Mothman hybrid,
Ooh.
so gotta. I generally stay, but I gotta start traveling with the Raccoon more because people like him and they want to see him.
Yeah, well, yeah, the little raccoon puppet. I mean, that's, yeah, I mean, you gotta love that. So, so like you've done quite a lot in the horror genre, whether, you're acting, writing, things like that. So, what is it about horror that draws you, like, compared to other genres?
Um, I started out actually when I was a kid. I was really into sci-fi, but I did like horror. Um, I liked a lot of. I remember as a kid, I used to say that when I would wake up in the morning, if the movie on TV was Vincent Price or Godzilla, it was going to be good, and if
Nice.
not, then I was going to go play in the creek because that just wasn't good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
Vincent Price is awesome. So,
yeah,
yeah.
my favorite.
Hmm.
So and then we didn't have cable because I lived out in the woods.
Okay.
So I would have to rent movies from the little Dairy Mart in the little town nearby.
Hmm.
And always, the B movie, the B horror movie, that was pretty much the standard, what was there to rent. So that's
Yeah.
what I get. So,
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's cool. Yeah. I mean, it's really interesting. It's always interesting hearing, how different people were introduced to the horror genre, and and everybody has like a really cool and interesting story. Like I was talking on the first episode with Hannah of Hannah Town about how she and I had so much in common, it was almost scary. Like it was like we both got in trouble for watching Child's Play when we were like little kids. Yeah.
when I would rent those movies from the D Mart, every time I'd be watching them, and it'd be like one really, really bloody, gory scene. And
Yeah.
every single time, that would be when my mom would walk in the room and just start screaming
I'm
at
like,
me about, what is this? What are you brain? I would be in so much trouble all the time. Why
uh-huh.
can't you rent a good movie?
I know. Yeah, yeah, but yeah, but it's I yeah, it's always interesting, like I said, hearing stories like that from people about, like yeah, like getting in trouble watching like a horror movie like when you're a kid, and because you're not supposed to be watching that. It's like, but it's fun. It scares the crap out of me and it makes me afraid to sleep with the light off, but it's fun,
Actually, I think the reason I got more into horror comedy is because I a lot of times thought they were funny, and I guess I wasn't supposed to. Like The Exorcist, I thought it was hilarious,
Oh
and I thought it
wow.
was supposed to be funny because it was
Mhm.
so ridiculous. Like I knew that couldn't happen in real life, so
Uh-huh.
that was just hilarious with her head spinning around in the pea soup and the whole thing. I thought it was hilarious, and I was laughing, and I think that also horrified my mother. But
Like, what's wrong with you? You're laughing at that.
so now I do a lot of horror comedy, and even if it's, well, with the exception of Midnight, but
Mhm.
Um, sometimes even if it's not supposed to be a comedy, I'm the comic relief because
Yeah.
you always need a little bit of comic relief, and I
Of
usually end up
course.
playing the.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's true. Like I think if it's like horror, or if it's like, even if it's just more like a serious drama, you have to have some type of comic relief in it.
Yeah,
I think at least.
yes, and so that usually ends up being my part,
Yeah.
and I enjoy that.
Cool. Yeah, no, but hey, that's a good contribution to make to films. So, so yeah, so now you live in Mothman territory. Actually, you go between Mothman and zombie territory.
Right, that's
Um,
what I said. I'm the Yinzer Mothman hybrid. That's I'm right in
there you
between.
go. And you grew up. You said you grew up like in the woods and all
I
of
still
that.
live there. That's why we had such trouble today that we almost didn't get to do this today because my power went out because I'm in the middle of nowhere. And
Well, I'm glad that, we were able to make it happen. So,
me too.
but yeah. But in living in the woods, have you ever had any like paranormal or ghostly experiences or anything?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that we heard Mothman.
Okay.
19
Ooh.
in 1988 there was this extreme drought in the
Uh-huh.
area. And Mothman is always supposed to show up when there's a
Mhm.
disaster.
Yeah.
So it was sort of the beginning of the summer, not quite I'm going to say like early July.
Okay.
So the drought was there and we knew it was bad, but we didn't
Mhm.
yet know how bad it was going to get through the rest of the summer.
Okay.
And of course I didn't put all this together until much later,
Mhm.
but at around 3 o'clock every night, we would hear this noise out in the woods, coming from the woods. Because it was summer, so we had all the windows open,
Mhm.
old house, long time ago, no air conditioning. We had
Yeah.
all the windows open. We would hear this noise coming from the woods. And
Mhm.
we live in the woods, so it's not a fox, it's not a
Mhm.
raccoon, it's not anything that we've ever heard before. We know all those sounds. We
Yeah.
can't figure out what it is. Uh,
Mhm.
there was somebody down the road. There was a man down the road. It's some kind of electricity monster, and we didn't know, we didn't know what that meant. But
Oh my
I found
gosh.
out later. I described the noise as if you were to push the old tape recorders. If you would push
Mhm.
play and fast forward or rewind at the same time, it would make a
Mhm.
squealy noise,
Okay, yeah.
but like an electronic squealy noise, not like a.
Ooh. Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. And when the Mothman movie came out,
Mhm.
they had interviews with the original people that had, seen it.
Yeah.
And one of them described it as making a noise just like that, as like it's
Wow.
electronic, but like when you press the play and the fast forward at the same time.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's it. And it was a disaster. And the drought, we had an apple orchard and it died, and lots of like people lost a lot in
Oh,
that drought.
wow.
So
Yeah.
it really was a disaster.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so you think you might have heard the Mothman.
So that's the only conclusion we've been able to come up with, is that that's the only thing we can come up with. It must have been Mothman.
Yeah. Yeah, like do you still now? Do you still hear like any kind of weird
I
sounds in the woods that you can't really
I
explain?
haven't really heard anything since then.
Uh-huh.
Of course, now we have like drilling rigs and things like that on every
Mhm.
hill, and it's hard to, you hear machinery all the time, so it's
Yeah.
not easy to hear like it was back then.
Mhm.
Quiet.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, 'cause well, I grew up in the mountaintop Wilkes-Barre Scranton area, and it's definitely 'cause I've gone back and visit there from time to time, and it's definitely a different world up there because it's mountains, it's woods, and it's way up in like the Appalachian Mountains. And yeah, I mean it's really like I said, it has like this really kind of quaint but eerie type of vibe to it. Definitely different from down here in like the Pittsburgh area. So like every time I visit up there, it's yeah, every so often it's just like it's like you hear something. And and even when I was growing up, a friend of mine, every time I would visit her, and and we were only kids, but like I would visit her, and she had these woods in the back of her house that to this day she tells me like she would not go back in there, just because she's like there was like one night time, I think she said she saw these like weird lights in the woods. And it was yeah, and she's like, "Yeah, I just get this really bad vibe from those woods. I would never go back there at all, like even to this day." And yeah, it's really yeah, I always find it fascinating to hear stories from people that also kind of grew up in like mountains or woods and things like that, because you do have experiences there that you don't really have if you're like you live near a city.
Yeah. Yeah, we went out after we heard those noises, like in the day, we went out and searched the woods looking for signs of something. We
Yeah.
couldn't find anything out of place or out of the ordinary. Everything
Mhm.
was exactly as it should be. So
Yeah.
it was very strange. And it was like 3 or 4 nights in a row.
Mhm. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I was just at the Mothman Festival back in September. Were you there?
No, I was not, but I had friends there and they said it was fantastic.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's really really good. And I do want to go back there either probably I'll have to go back in November because I was going to say October or November, but October's almost over and I have like a ton of stuff to do for Halloween stuff. But but November I do want to go back there because I'd like to like just take in that whole like Point Pleasant area like without the,
The leaves on the
commotion of the
trees.
festival. Yeah.
Yeah, and also that time of year, most of the leaves will be off, so you'll be able to just see more.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, and you go into the Mothman Museum without having to wait in a ridiculously long line because I wanted to go in the Mothman Museum, but the line was ridiculous and it was like hot out. So I was like, yeah, I'm not spending the entire day waiting in a line. I'll just come back on
Yeah.
another day and then, visit like the Mothman Museum on my own time and I can take my time and just really take in all the history and the lore and everything from, that have to do with like the Mothman. So, yeah, have you ever been to like the Mothman Museum?
I haven't, and I have friends that like work with the people there and stuff, and they have books and things there. And we keep planning. I want to plan to go on a trip with them. And they told me, they're like, don't go during the festival. Come with us, and we'll go down a day when there's not a lot of people around, and you could really see stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, that's exactly how I felt. I mean, I loved the festival. I thought it was a lot of fun. And I had some friends there that had like booths set up and everything, but yeah, I'm just like, some of the stuff I would rather just go on my own time and just take my time, just take everything in, and take in that historic hotel because that was another thing. There's like this big historic hotel there. And but there were food trucks in front of the hotel. So I was like, well, that kind of kills that vibe, you know?
I've had friends that stayed in that hotel, and they had some good stories.
Nice, nice. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, but it's just it is a cool place though, that entire Point Pleasant area. And also if you go there, I definitely recommend, well, Silver Bridge Coffee is really good, so shout out to them. And also it's this ice cream place called What's the Scoop?
Ooh,
And
I like ice cream.
yeah, and they have this Mothman Sunday where they make your Sunday look like the Mothman. And yeah, I love it. I love it. And they'll
That's
give you a
fantastic.
commemorative cup for it too. So,
Awesome.
yeah, so if you go there, there's a couple different cool places to visit there. So, yeah, but in your time doing movies, and how many movies have you done so far?
I think like 6 or 7. I do a lot of. I usually have a part in the movie, but I do a lot of behind the scenes stuff. Like with Krakoon,
Okay.
I was everywhere you saw the Krakoon, just about everywhere. I was there. Sometimes it
Nice.
took one of us to operate it. And there were a couple other people that were doing it too, but I was there the majority of the time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But do you have like any like humorous or even like spooky stories that might have occurred on set?
Just this past weekend, I was filming,
Uh-huh.
and at one point, I was filming Heartbreaker, which should come out. I'm guessing next year sometime.
Okay.
Uh, and I was supposed to throw a lollipop
Oh.
like off camera. And very first take, I throw the lollipop, and there's lights, in my eyes, and I'm not paying attention like I should be.
Yeah.
Anyway, I threw the lollipop, and it landed in somebody's hair off screen.
Oh my gosh.
Them with the lollipop, which is not what I intended to do, and I felt really bad for that lady. But it was funny, and everybody laughed.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there was one time I was filming a scene for something and I had to lean over and like blow a candle out and my hair actually singed and caught on fire.
Oh, that's the worst.
It was it was fun because I was like, because I started to like smell something weird. I'm like, what is that? And then you hear this sound. It's like, oh my gosh, my hair's on fire.
That's the
Yeah.
funniest thing I can think of. I don't know that I've had anything like paranormal happen
Uh-huh.
on set, but there's been lots of humorous things. But that was definitely the most recent.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was because you hear about like, especially on some horror movies, that, sometimes they'll have like weird, especially if it's like of the paranormal nature, like a paranormal film, like you'll hear about like, oh, this happened on set, and there were things like falling over when they shouldn't have fallen over, and like, so you hear about just all kinds of like weird, just kind of weird and interesting stories of like, just
Yeah.
different movie sets and everything. So
Well, when we made Cracula, which should be, I think the DVDs should be out before the end of the year, and then it should show up on streaming shortly after that, I think.
yeah,
That was a lot of fun to make.
yeah.
And the thing was, while we were making it, all of these disasters kept happening.
Oh no.
But every time something would fall through and we'd think, oh no, how are we going to fix this? What are we going to do instead?
Yeah.
Something would come up to replace it that was better. So it was like every time, and it got to the point where something would go wrong, and instead of like worrying, we'd be like, ooh, it's about to get really good. It was
Yeah.
like, the disasters were for the better every time. Whatever,
Yeah.
everything worked out perfectly.
Yeah.
That will be a good movie. Definitely look out for that one.
Awesome. Yeah. What is it? Cracula?
Cracula, yeah. So Dracula in his coffin
Mm-hmm.
ends up in West Virginia.
Uh-huh.
His professors, at local universities
Yeah.
have gotten him, and they've gotten all kinds of weird things, and they're keeping them safe, and they die.
Uh-huh.
And they leave the storage unit to their son, and he doesn't really like his parents because they've spent more time playing with their archaeological trinkets than they have with him, so he doesn't bother with it. And some crackheads break into the storage unit.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking for things to steal to sell for crack, so they awaken him accidentally.
Ooh.
And he bites them because he's been asleep for a long time and he's hungry. And then he's got a bigger problem. He's crack. He wants crack blood now. So, and it's a comedy. It's a horror comedy.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, it sounds like it's a fun horror comedy.
It is fun. It's hilarious. Yeah, I play the detective that doesn't believe any of this vampire nonsense.
Okay, of course.
Supernatural.
And then you learn the hard way, right?
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay. What would you say is like your favorite role that you've done so far?
Detective Sweeney and Cracula, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
That's
was the
your favorite
most
role.
fun.
Nice.
Yes.
I'll have to check that out then.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and when does that come out?
So the DVDs are going to come out before the end of this year. I don't have an exact date on that. And then I imagine it will come out on streaming soon, sometime after that.
Yeah.
I definitely let you know as soon as it does. I will try to let everybody.
Yeah, we'd love to pimp it on here for sure. Totally. So yeah, all right. And like what else are you working on right now? Like anything new?
So I just did I'm the comic relief in Heartbreaker.
Okay. Yeah.
That's a basic I think a basic slasher film. I filmed my part this weekend. It's currently filming, so I'm thinking next year.
Okay.
Yeah. That's probably. And when Cracula had its premiere in Morgantown at the MAC, Morgantown, West Virginia, and we sold out. Not only did we sell out, we actually had people trying to sneak into the theater after, we had sold out and said, sorry, no more tickets. So that was really exciting.
Yeah, that's always exciting to happen. Absolutely.
Yeah, that was absolutely fantastic.
Nice.
Raccoon didn't sell out. It had a lot of people, but its premiere, Crackoon premiered on Screambox at the same time as I think it was Terrifier 2 that came out
Okay.
last year. And it was right with it. It was number 2, right behind it the whole time. So I imagine if it hadn't been for being
Wow.
Terrifier 2, it would have been number 1.
Yeah. Oh, that's
And now I think
awesome.
you can find it on just about all the streaming services.
Yes. Hey, I mean, if you're right behind Terrifier, I mean that's pretty big. Like that's all.
It was exciting.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And Midnight, I have seen, my husband came running in one day and he was like, come look at this. Look what's on TV. It just randomly shows up on these streaming services
Yeah.
all over the place.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, because that's yeah, it's always it's always cool to see like, oh, hey, there's me. I'm on the team.
Yeah. And I got to be a clown in Shriek Show. And I'm not sure where it's streamed, but I believe it's on various streaming services.
Uh-huh.
Death Clerk, I think, is on Amazon Prime. I have a bit part in 21st Century Demon Hunter. That is also, I believe, on Prime.
Yeah.
And then My Uncle John is a Zombie, which was the first movie I ever had anything to do with.
Okay.
I play a talking zombie, like a Valley Girl zombie.
Oh no. Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah, the whole guys thing. But I'm not sure where it's on. I'm sure it's on different streaming services, but I don't know exactly. They move around so much, it's hard to keep track.
Yeah. I know what you mean, because sometimes it's like, you'll see, it's on one app and then it's on another one. And it's no longer on the app that it was before, or the streaming service. But yeah, but that's always cool to like, see yourself on like if you're like, oh, hey, and it's always fun when it's random, it's always like it's like a pleasant surprise there. So yeah.
It is.
Yeah, cool. So you've got a lot coming up, it seems. And yeah, and so where can people find you?
I'm on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. Oh, I also hasn't come out yet. It should come out next year.
Okay.
Exorcist.
Okay. Nice.
Which is there's going to be a lot of stop motion animation in that.
Oh, cool.
T-Rex.
Yeah.
Iconic T-Rex. So that's why Exorcist.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll have to check that out too. And yeah,
so that's coming out next year as well. So look forward to that. That's good.
Nice. So people can find you like on, you said Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Under Michelle Bowser on all of them.
All right. So just Michelle Bowser. Yeah. Easy to find. I try to keep myself easy to find too. So instead of just coming up with this big fancy name, but yeah, awesome. So do you have anything else that you would like to talk about or promote or anything?
That's pretty much it. Yeah, look for all those movies. They're going to be great. Like I said, Crackoon you can find just about anywhere. Yeah, next year's going to be big with at least probably 2 or 3 of those coming out. And hopefully Cracula will be out, very soon. As I said, I know the DVDs will be available soon. So that's a lot of fun. That's definitely my favorite. It's so good.
Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah. Well, I can't wait I'll have to check out Crackoon, and then I can't wait for Cracula to come out. So that'll be a lot of fun. But but it was fun sitting and chatting with you. And because I haven't, I mean, we can communicate like on social media and stuff, but I haven't like talked to you since we filmed Midnight. So
probably, yeah.
Yeah, but it was really, really great sitting down and catching up and, just hearing all the cool stuff that you're doing and, maybe talk a little paranormal stuff. So yeah, but I'll have to have you on again, like maybe when Cracula comes out. So
great. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. So, all right. Well, thank you so much, Michelle, for coming on. And yeah, definitely have to have you on again, especially like keep me posted as to when Cracula comes out. And yeah, and thank you everybody else for listening. Thank you so much. And this is Tiffany Apan with the After Hours podcast. And wherever you are, stay safe and always stay spooky.